A preliminary hearing begins next week in the case of Robert Pickton. He's the man police in BC accuse of killing 15 women.
It looks like a very, very complex DNA case. Every form of evidence has its assets and its detriments. DNA evidence tends to be, as they say, fairly silent. In other words, as long as the test is done correctly, then it doesn't seem to be subject to bias or interpretation as much as eyewitness testimony.
But if DNA evidence backs up what they say, even a questionable witness can become believable. David Rose.
I can say that the sense is that jurors tend to take DNA evidence very powerfully. They tend to weigh it very heavily, and it tends to help the prosecutor. That's the sense. Well, it's certainly something that Mr. Pickton's lawyers should be concerned about in a case where you'd have a very large number of samples provided from an old site where the remains have been degenerated. One of the strategies might very well be to scrutinize the lab work to make sure that they have what they say they have. I think there's a common misconception that just because there's DNA evidence, therefore the accused is guilty, and that's just not true.